This is KGW News at noon.
We don't want to hurt you. Let us help you. Put the gun down.
That video showing moments before officers shot and killed that man near Salem last month. Thank you for joining us. I'm China Green. Our top story here at noon. A grand jury has found the 3 law enforcement officers justified in shooting the man. With that decision, the Marion County District Attorney also released video that gives us a clear picture of what led up to the shooting. But we do want to warn you, the video may be disturbing for some viewers. Here's KGW's David Mokel with more.
The ordeal begins the morning after Thanksgiving. Ring camera video from the suspect's own home shows Justin Jordan spending several minutes hitting and kicking his front door and staring into the camera. Moments later, neighbors recorded video while hiding inside their home as Jordan paced up and down the road. Police say he had 2 guns in his hand. Several times he points one at his head, then at 2 drivers who get too close. Another camera picks up the sound of him firing a gun. 3 times at another vehicle. Remarkably, through all of this, none of his neighbors were hit. Police arrive after someone calls 911. In the video, you can hear officers pleading with Jordan to drop the gun.
Put the gun down.
While he's heard asking authorities to shoot him.
We don't want to hurt you. Let us help you. Put the gun down.
And this is the final witness video of Jordan walking toward officers. Police say they fired after he raised one of the pistols and pointed it at them. The grand jury finding that there were no reasonable alternatives to shooting Jordan. He died at the scene. No one else was injured. David Molko, KGW News.
St. Vincent de Paul's in the Dalles announced it will be ending its food service for the homeless and closing its day use shelter building today. The reason? The Dalles passed an ordinance earlier this year making businesses responsible for everything that happens within 300 feet of their property. Since then, St. Vincent says the city declared them a public nuisance. There have been more than 30 arrests or citations near that building. St. Vincent says it's been trying to work a solution with the city, but no change, though they decided to close. KGW's Blair Best is headed to the Dalles today to find out how this will impact the vulnerable population in there, and her report is coming up tonight at 5. And take a look at this video on your screen here. Gresham police are looking for the person behind the wheel of that red Chevy Aveo. Police say the driver hit a motorcycle, knocked the rider off, then ran him over before speeding off. The motorcyclist is in critical condition. The crash happened New Year's Eve at Southeast Division and 202nd Avenue. Police found the Aveo on a side street where the driver and at least one passenger bailed and ran away. Gresham police want you to call them if you recognize anyone in this video. And Arsene Dorner is meeting with the family of the victim today. She'll have that story ahead on the news at 4. Now let's take a quick break from the news and check in with Rod in the Weather Center. Rod, earlier you mentioned an Arctic air mass could be coming our way.
Yeah, that is still on track right now to arrive Thursday of next week. And it could not only be cold, but it could be historically cold. One for the record books, as they say, including some valley snow. So we're going to get more into all of that coming up in about 10 minutes of my complete forecast. Right now, it's a pretty quiet day. We had the rain pass through early this morning. Just some specks or traces of rain showing up on the radar. Don't really expect much rain throughout your afternoon, so I think your plans are in pretty good shape. Right back here, though, see the robustness of the coloring of the white here on the infrared satellite picture? That is the cold front that will be coming in late evening into the overnight hours. It will bring heavy snow to the Cascades with the snow level down to 2,000 feet and heavy enough rain that it might wake you up tonight. Here's Futurecast real quick. 8 o'clock tonight, you folks in Astoria, it should be raining. Tillamook, Longview starting to move in. It's more like late evening into the midnight hour. Here we are at 1 a.m. That's heavy rain moving through the valley. Snow picking up in the Cascades down to 2,000 feet. Heavy hail showers may be left over tomorrow. We're at 49 in the city. There are some sunbreaks around. There's the end of the Oregon Trail Interpretive Center camera down in Lincoln City. You might find a little patch of blue this afternoon, but generally a lot of clouds. We're at 49 currently. We'll be hanging right there, I think, for the remainder of the afternoon. Back to you, China.
Ron, thank you. Now to the concerning death of a man who had just been released from a local hospital and died in police custody. We're learning several investigations are focused on why he was discharged from the hospital in the first place. Alma McCarty spoke with advocates who say this case points to a larger problem.
Body camera footage from Milwaukee police shows what happened when they were called to Providence Milwaukee Hospital December 12th. Hospital staff told them a homeless man was discharged, but refused to leave.
He's been evaluated medically. There's no medical problems for him. This is a chronic problem.
Over the course of the video, officers evaluate what to do and decide to take Jean-Michael Descamps to Unity Center for Behavioral Health in Portland. At times, they question why the 26-year-old is being released from the hospital's care.
He can't be on his own. We can't. Huh? Why is he being released?
He's doing it electively. We had him set up with a shelter, a cab to take him to the shelter, and he didn't want to leave. He wanted to stay here all night, and so that's how that went for him.
It's not really a medical problem. It's malingering.
It's not really a police problem. Yeah, it's not a police problem either. No, it's not. It's a community problem.
When officers arrive at Unity, they find Descamps unresponsive in the back of the patrol car, calling in first responders as they start CPR. Within a half hour, Descamps is pronounced dead.
Time of death on this is going to be 11:31 p.m.
A week later, the Oregon Health Authority launched an investigation into Providence, Milwaukee under the Emergency Medical Treatment and Labor Act. The federal law ensures public access to emergency services, regardless of a patient's ability to pay. OHA found Providence to be in what they call immediate jeopardy, saying their noncompliance with that law was putting patients at risk. OHA later dropped that status after they say Providence presented a plan to address the issues, but the state's investigation continues.
The fact that OHA found them to be in immediate jeopardy so quickly really points to how serious this case was.
Meantime, Disability Rights Oregon opened its own investigation into this very incident.
DRO released a report 5 years ago on this very subject, and it's just so incredibly frustrating that nothing's changed in those 5 years. We still have the same thing going on in these emergency rooms.
Dave Boyer, the managing attorney for DRO's Mental Health Rights Project, says after reviewing the video, he believes hospital staff did not adequately assess Descamps or provide appropriate treatment or transfer. He found one interaction in particular to be striking.
The body cam where the police said, "Why is he being released? He can't be on his own." And then the supervisor says, "We have no place to take him." I mean, that is really the core of the problem. This isn't a police problem. This is a hospital protocol problem. This is a Oregon mental health system problem.
That was Alma McCarty reporting. In terms of what happens next with the Disability Rights Oregon investigation, there could be a variety of outcomes, from a report release to the hospital or publicly, to changes to the law or even litigation. Now to some national headlines we're tracking for you on this noon. A government report released today shows the U.S. economy added more jobs than economists predicted. 216,000 jobs were added in December, over 40,000 more than were added in November. December's job gains are the latest sign that the labor market is staying resilient in spite of rising inflation rates. The unemployment rate in December remained unchanged at 3.7%, marking the 23rd consecutive month below a 4% unemployment rate. We now know more about a shooting at a high school in Iowa. A 17-year-old student fatally shot a 6th grader and wounded several other students and a school administrator before taking his own life. The shooter has now been identified as Dylan Butler. The shooting happened yesterday at Perry High School just after 7:30 in the morning. Police say Butler was armed with a shotgun and a handgun. Police also found an improvised explosive device, which authorities were able to, quote, render safe. Authorities have not released a motive. An investigation is ongoing.